Hello and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be showing you what I did at art class yesterday. Anything here. So fishies. So we're doing a negative painting with the fishes. But when I got in there, Tina, the tutor, said that the taxi had arrived there first instead of coming to fetch me first. Again, the second time that's happened to me. Anyway, so what we did first was we wet the paper and then we dropped in paint just to make it let it spread in the wet now, and we covered the whole paper with different colours like this. And when it was still wet, we could do several different things to add texture to it. We could sprinkle salt on, or we could use something called Brusho, which makes very bright colours. It's got very bright colours in. I didn't bother with that. And you could use cling film and put that on and make crinkly textures, like the light of the sun coming through and the water or whatever. Anyway, I decided to put sea salt on mine. Salt, not just sea salt, it's fine salt. So I sprinkled some salt on, and you can see somewhere where it's been. I don't know whether you can see on this tablet. You can tell that there was salt there with the motley effect. That's where the salt was. And some over here, you can see the motley effect where the salt was. So we let that dry, and mine was taking too long to dry, so I went and dried it off with a hairdryer at the corner. Then when that was dry, we drew in our first layer of fish. So I drew 4 fish. I think I've got it upside down actually. Yeah, it was this way up. I'll get it out and put it the way up that this is the way up I had it. So this is the bottom, this is the top. So I drew in the first layer of fish. I drew in 4 fish. I drew this fish. No, I think that was the second lot of fish. No, wait a minute. No, that was the first layer of fish. I drew 4 fish. I drew this fish. I drew this fish first. This fish. And then I think I drew this fish second, because this bit was still a bit wet. Then I drew this fish, and lastly I drew this fish in here. Then what we did was we went over the whole thing again with a diluted I'm trying to think of the word. Anyway, it was diluted down ultramarine colour, and we painted over the whole thing except for the fish. We painted round the fish and left the fish with the original colours from the background, from the first layer on. So went round the fish, and not touch the fish, but went just round the fish. Then we let that dry. Then we're doing some more fish. So the second layer of fish was this fish, this big fish here. Is this fish that's coming up here. And this fish here, that's just the 3 extra fish. Then we went over again with another colour. This time I used a dilute mixture of Prussian blue and went round everything, including the second layer of fish. I don't think it's come out as good as it could do. It could have been a bit darker. But then we let that dry, and then I started putting in stones. You can see some of the stones that I drew. That one's underneath his tail. There's a stone there. Stone here. There's a stone there. Stone here, stone there. All stones here. There's stones there. and stones here and stones there, and stones here, stones all over the place. But then it was time to go home, so I didn't get the chance to paint the next layer. So what's going to happen is I'm going to paint it, I'm going to finish it off at home, and I'm going to paint another layer, and I'm going to go around everything, including all the fish and the stones, and just leave those. And then I'm going to draw some more stones, and I'm going to do the same thing, so that all the stones are painted round. And eventually the last layer that you do should be really dark, so that all the colours of the fish and everything pop up, and they brighten that with a darker background. That's the idea. Anyway, so I'm going to finish that off at home. So then when I came home, this nice English chap brought me home again, and he was in a kind of van thing, like the ones that you put wheelchairs in for the disabled people and that. Anyway, he got this sat nav. Sorry about the cough and the throat. So he got this sat nav, and he was got this sat nav to tell him where to go. And he said to me, "Oh, you're a bit quiet down back there," he said. And I said, "Yeah, I'm just enjoying listening to the sat nav." And he said, "Oh yeah." And he said, he said it's all right when she's behaving herself, but she's been misbehaving recently. But anyway, she took me the right route to go home today. Anyway. And then he said, "I should know better, really, shouldn't I? Because I worked for a removals company for how many years?" And I said, "Oh, my uncle used to own a removals company, Charles Hine and Son." And he goes, "Really?" He goes, "That's who I worked for." And I goes, "Oh, small world, isn't it?" And then he wanted to know who my uncle was. It was Charles, my uncle. I said, "Well, Richard was my uncle. Richard, Len and Ken were my uncles. But I don't know what relation Charles was. But anyway, I think there's a small world, so yeah." And he brought me home, and I told my mum and showed her this, which is going to be finished at home. So that's what happened at art class this week. Next week it's water lilies in watercolour. And on the 4th of July, which is polling day, we're having a day off. So I'm going to have to phone up the taxis and cancel that week's taxi. And then we're having an extra day at the end, the 1st of August. And that will be what we would have done on the 4th of July. So we're having that day, that week's painting session at the end of the course, so that it doesn't mess up the rest of what we were doing. It's going to be very complicated. Anyway, that's the end of this video then. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.